They were the rules of the game. They were pretty clear. Here is Dominic Cummings, or a brief part of Dominic Cummings this evening, explaining his journey.
The regulations describe various exceptional circumstances where it may not be possible to follow the rules. It doesn't say you must stay at home in all circumstances. It says that there are some circumstances in which you won't be able to follow these rules. And it seemed to me that I was in such an exceptional circumstance, and I was trying to balance all of these very complicated things. So I think as I've said, I think I behaved reasonably in all of these given all the circumstances and the different things I had to try and weigh up.
So what Dominic Cummings is referring to there is a paragraph in the guidance which says, if you are living with children, keep following the advice to the best of your ability. However, we are aware that this will not always be possible. So that's what Dominic Cummings is falling back on. He is saying that his wife wasn't feeling very well. He feared he'd become unwell. Who was going to look after their 4-year-old? I know, I've got a niece 260 miles away who's volunteered to do it. That is the reason that he went up to Durham. That's the reason we've been given for him going up to Durham. Is that absolutely, literally a strict breach of the rules? It's questionable. I think when it comes to the trip to Barnard Castle, that was the most extraordinary part of it, where he said that he was worried about, he was going to drive back to London, but he was worried about his eyesight. So he put his wife and kid in the car and went for a drive for half an hour to see whether his eyesight was okay. Well, I would have thought if you're worried about your eyesight, the last thing you do is put them in the car. And it just so happened on that journey that the little lad wanted to stop for a comfort break. Didn't need one all the way from London up to Durham, because they never stopped apparently on the way up. And while they were there, they just happened to find there was a nice river there, and they sat down beside it. Look, that isn't credible or believable in any way at all. And look, from the start of this, I've said if people want to go out into the fresh air, into the countryside and social distance, I'm not personally very bothered about it. But if you're the people making the rules and insisting the rest of the country effectively is not allowed to do those things, it puts you in a very difficult position. I thought he was calm. I thought he was in control. I thought he was considerably politer than perhaps I would have expected. He clearly is in breach of the rules. Is that enough for him as an unelected advisor to be got rid of? I'll tell you what I will say. The one group of people who've come out of today quite badly are the media pack. And I think some of the scenes outside his house in London will almost have made people feel a bit sorry for Cummings and the kind of siege under which he's living. It is clear that Boris Johnson wants to stick with him. It is clear that there are many, not all, but many in the Remain camp particularly, who would like to see the back of him, who think Cummings going now may well aid them in getting us to extend, beyond the end of this year, staying within the EU rulebook. Has he done enough to convince you? He hasn't. Well, look, I don't think he's 100% telling the truth, but I don't necessarily think what he's done is a capital offence. That's my view. You tell me yours. 0345 60 60 973. Let's find out, what do the great British public think? What do they make of that extraordinary bank holiday press conference?